Hello all, welcome to the value added course on Python programming for beginners. As part of week 8, we are going to discuss about module 12, functional programming. The content for this module is functional programming introduction, functions as first class values, lambda functions, higher order functions, map, filter, and reduce functions, using lambda with map, filter, and reduce functions, why these are useful, and finally, we will see some example programs. In this video, we are going to cover the introduction concepts about functional programming, and we will see how the functions will act as first class values and lambda functions. Coming to the introduction to functional programming, Python programming language is a multi-paradigm programming language. It supports different types of paradigms like object-oriented programming, functional programming, etc. So what is functional programming means? In functional programming, a problem is treated as evaluation of one or more functions. In this, the given problem is decomposed into a set of functions. These functions will provide the main source of logic in the program. Coming to how the functions will act as first class values. The Python facilitates functional programming by treating functions as first class data values. So what is the meaning of first class data values means? The functions can be assigned to variables and we can use the variables to call the functions. And second one, functions can be passed as arguments to the function and returned from that function. And finally, functions can be built at execution time, like the way how we can call list tuples, etc. We will see some examples for each and every point what we have discussed here. So coming to the first example, functions can be assigned to variables and then called using these variables. This is the program which will describe us how we are going to define variables and how we can assign functions to the variables and how we can call the variables as functions. So in this, so here we are going to define two functions. So normally we know the function will be defined using the keyword def. So def func parenthesis. So this is the definition of function. In this function, we are using a simple statement. So one of the statement we have used is print statement, and we are going to print only hello. And the second function sum, and the sum function will take two arguments xy, and simply we are calculating x plus y, and we are going to print the x plus y values. In this program, we have defined the two functions called func and sum. Now, we can create a variable and we can assign these functions to variables. So now, f. So we have taken one variable f equal to func. Func is the function name. And g equal to sum. So sum is also the function name. Now, so here the function is assigned to variable f, and by using the variable f parenthesis, we are calling the function func. And in the same way, the g variable assigned the sum function, and we are calling the variable name g, and we are passing two arguments 10 comma 20. So that is, it will print the sum. Now we will see the execution of this program. So the same program we have written here, and whenever we run this program, So what output we are expecting is hello, and we are expecting 30. So whenever we run this program, so simply it will print hello. So whenever we call the variable f, so f is assigned the func, func, and g, we have assigned g with sum function, and it will give the sum of two elements. Now coming to the second one. So example of passing a function as argument to a function. So here we can pass the function as a argument to a another function. So now coming to this program. So here we are defining the function sum, and which is going to take three arguments x, y, f. X, y, f. And in this function, first we are going to calculate the sum of x, y, that is print x plus y, and f. So here f is a variable or argument. So simply we can call them as a function. So that is f parenthesis. F parenthesis. So now, so the same program, whatever we have written in the previous program, so simply we are using the same function. So define function func and print statement hello, and we are creating a variable f, and for this variable we are assigning the function func. So now we are calling the function sum. So this is the sum function, and sum 10 comma 20 comma f. So whenever we call this sum 10 comma 20 comma f, so x equal to 10 and y equal to 20, f equal to the function. So now what is the print statement? X plus y. So first it will print 10 plus 20, 30, and it will call the function f. So now it will print hello. Now this is the same program, and whenever we run this program, so what output we are expecting? First it will print the sum. So that is 10 plus 20, 30. Then it will print hello. So whenever we run this program, so the same output we are getting. So first it will print the sum value of 10 plus 20, that is 30, and f variable is called as a function, and we are passing f value as one of the arguments. So now f is a function, and for the function sum, we are giving the argument as a function f. Now coming to the third point. So here we can call the functions at execution time. Execution time. So normally we know the procedure how to define functions, and the normal functions have names. Every normal function has name, and the function names are defined by using the definition keyword. Okay, so def keyword we will use to define the functions. But whenever we want to create the functions at execution time, it does not have any name. So that's why we can call these functions as lambda functions. So now the lambda functions does not have names, and how we are going to define this lambda function means with the keyword lambda, with the keyword lambda, and these are run at execution time. Okay, and so these are commonly used for short functions which are convenient to define at the point of time where they are called. So no need of defining or anything. So simply we can call the function itself. So that's why the short functions only we can use, and we can call these lambda functions as anonymous functions or inline functions. And at the same time, the lambda functions can take any number of arguments. It can take any number of arguments, but it can return only one value. It can return only one value. Now, coming to the syntax of lambda functions. So already we explained that the lambda functions will be defined using the lambda keyword. So that's why lambda arguments colon expression. So this is the syntax of lambda function. Now the colon separates the parameters to be passed to the lambda function and the function body. Okay. And the result of running the function body is written implicitly. So now we will see some examples about lambda functions. So the first function what we are going to create is which will receive an argument and it will return cube of the argument. So now we know the syntax. So first lambda is the keyword. Then what is the argument here only? N we are considering. So lambda n colon. So what is the function body? We have to calculate the cube. So that's why we can write n into n, n into n. Now coming to the second example. So in the second example, the function has to receive three arguments and it must return the average of the lambda, average of the three argument values. So now the syntax is lambda. The three arguments we can consider is x, y, z and colon. Then what we have to calculate? Average. So that is x plus y plus z divided by 3. Okay. So next, coming to the third example. In third example, we have to receive a string as argument. Then if any white spaces are there, it has to strip the white spaces and it has to return the uppercase version of the string. Okay. So now for this, what we have to write? The lambda is the keyword. Then string is the s colon s dot trim. So trim function is used to remove any white spaces and upper function. So upper function is used to convert the lowercase letters to uppercase letters. The lambda functions are used as an argument to another function. So now, so we have created these lambda functions and these lambda functions can be used as argument for another function. So now, so we have created these three functions and these three functions are given as argument to print functions. So whenever they given as arguments to print function, so simply it will return. So now see here in this one, we are going to give the lambda function as argument to the print function. So now print lambda n colon n into n and the what is the input? We are giving n value as 3. We are giving the n value as 3 and the second one print lambda x comma y comma z colon x plus y plus z divided by 3 and what is the value of x y z means 10 20 30 and print lambda s dot l strip. So there is left side strip and right side strip and these will be given after removing these left side and right side empty spaces. Then the output is given to upper which will convert this ngp input ngp to capital ngp. So this is one way and the second way is the lambda can also be assigned to a variable and then invoke. So now, so in the previous example, we have given lambda function as argument to the print function. In the same way, we can assign this to a variable, then we can invoke this. So now, p equal to, so we are taking three variables, p, q, r. So p is assigned lambda of n colon n into n and q will be assigned lambda x, y, z, x plus y plus z divided by 3 and r equal to lambda s colon l dot ls strip, rs strip and upper. So now we have created three variables and we have assigned this lambda function. Then invoke. So now we have to call the function. So simply we can call with the print because only if you use p of 3 it will return the value but it cannot be printed. So now to use the print function we can get the output. So print p of 3, print q of 10 comma 20 comma 30 and print r Nagpur. In the same way, container types can also be passed to a lambda function. For example, a lambda function that calculates average of numbers in a list can be passed to print function. So now, so here in this example, we have created two lists. List 1 equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and list2 equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and print lambda L. So lambda L colon sum of L length of L. So now what is the input for this L value is list1. So sum of L means, so 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, that is 15. 15 divided by 5. Length of L is 5. So that's why simply it will give 3. 15 divided by 5. So that is output is 3. So in the same way print lambda L colon sum of L divided by length of L list2. So we are passing the list2 value. So that is it will calculate 150 divided by 5. So that is 30. So in this program, instead of assigning a lambda function to a variable and then passing the variable to print, we have passed the lambda function itself to print. So lambda function itself, we can pass it to print. So now we will see execution of these three programs. Now coming to this print function. So print lambda n colon n into n. So that is the argument is 3 and print lambda x comma y comma z. So that is colon x plus y plus z divided by 3, 10, 20, 30 and print lambda L s dot ls strip or dot rs dot strip comma upper. So here see here we have given two empty white spaces at left and right is also we have given two empty spaces. So whenever we run this program, so simply it will print the first value 27, 3 cube 27 and the average 10 plus 20 plus 30 average is 20 and it will remove the left and white spaces and it will convert the lowercase letters to uppercase letters. So this is the first program. And coming to the second program, so now we are giving the lambda function as argument to a function. So here the function what we are using is print statement. So print p of 3. So or we can go for 5 and here we can take 150 and 200 and 375. So now R Naku, so we can give some white spaces here also. So we can give how many number of white spaces, not a problem. So whenever we run this program, so simply it will print the same output, but here we have taken another argument Nagpur. So in this Nagpur, N is the capital letter, remaining all are small letters. Now whenever we execute this program, it will give 125. So 5 is the input. So 5 cube 125 and average 241.6666 and Nagpur. So all lowercase letters are converted into uppercase and the left and right white space characters are removed. Coming to the last program. So this is the list 1 and list 2. So we have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and list 2 contains 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and the print function itself we are passing the lambda L. So that is lambda L sum of L divided by length of L and list 1 and print lambda L colon sum of L divided by length of L list 2. So whenever we run this program we will get 3 and 30 as the output. 3 and 30. So this is the output. So now in this video we have covered introduction to functional programming and functions as first class data values, lambda functions. So in the next video we are going to some concepts about higher order functions and we are going to discuss about the map, reduce and filter functions. Thank you all for listening this video. Happy learning.